Hey guys, welcome to the latest edition of the Muir Reflection. John from the John Muir Show here. And yesterday we got word that President Trump was going to be pardoning various individuals. And it got quite the response from folks throughout the country, throughout the political spectrum. Most notably, it got a response from one of the folks at the New York Times by the name of Eric Lipton. So President Trump pardoned some individuals, bringing his total number of pardons up to 26. And just to give you a comparison, for recent presidents prior to Trump, they were in the hundreds with the number of individuals that they pardoned throughout their time in the White House. The most pardons by a president would be the man who came directly before Trump, Barack Obama, who pardoned 1,927 individuals during his time in the White House. So, for me personally, I am not a huge fan of all these pardons that President Trump issued, just as I was not a fan of these pardons that former presidents Barack Obama and others were issuing. I think it's important to be consistent on this. So even though I am somebody who supports President Trump, no, I do not support all of the pardons that he was handing out yesterday. Consistency is key, and consistency is not what we are getting from the aforementioned Eric Lipton of the New York Times. Lipton tweeted out back when Barack Obama was pardoning dozens of individuals that it was a big day, and Lipton seemed excited. What great things are happening in the White House. We've got this executive action coming from Barack Obama. People are being pardoned. Yeah, it was a moment to celebrate for Eric Lipton of the New York Times when Barack Obama was pardoning people. Oh, but when Donald Trump goes issuing pardons, yeah, Lipton went on this Twitter rant that made it seem like it was the end of our republic. He thought it was the worst thing in the world. It's like, okay, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of these pardons that President Trump's handing down, but I also was not a fan of Barack Obama's pardons, and I will be consistent. I don't agree with Obama doing it. I don't agree with Trump doing it. You can't be somebody like Eric Lipton who's like, oh yeah, greatest thing in the world when Obama does it, but the worst thing in the world when Donald Trump does it. I mean, nobody can take somebody like that seriously, somebody like Eric Lipton of the New York Times, but this just goes to show you what Trump derangement syndrome has done to some folks in this country. They get to a point where, you know what, consistency's out the door. Nope, if someone I like does something, it's fine. If someone I do not like does the very same thing, then I'm going to complain about it. It's terrible. If something is fine when your politician does it, it has to be fine when the other side does it. Or if something is not fine when the other side does it, it cannot be fine when your side does it either. You have to be consistent here, folks. You cannot allow the person who is engaging in the political action to dictate whether or not something is acceptable or unacceptable. No, the action either needs to be acceptable across the board or unacceptable across the board. It can't be, yep, my guy does it, it's fine. Other guy does it, it's bad. Unless you want to be viewed as an absolute joke. But of course, that's what Eric Lipton, so many of the folks at the New York Times are. They're absolute jokes. It's gotten to the point where they have prioritized hating Donald Trump and opposing Donald Trump over being consistent, being taken seriously. I mean, these people are just, they are saying the most nonsensical of things. They're employing the worst doubled standards that you're going to find, all because they hate Donald Trump. I heard just yesterday, you had a Democrat congressman, one of the top Democrats in Congress, Jim Clyburn, talking about how terrible the Trump economy was. The Trump economy that is currently flourishing, setting historical records in some metrics. Yeah, you've got a top Democrat in Congress, Jim Clyburn, trying to trash that economy. Guarantee you, if this was Barack Obama's economy, if Barack Obama ever had an economy as great as the one we currently have under Trump during his 8 years in the White House, Jim Clyburn would have been singing Obama's praises. Oh, but because it's Trump, he hates it. He acts like it's the worst thing in the world. Look, folks, you can support whatever politician, you can support whatever political party you want. Just be consistent on political matters. And then people will take you seriously. It's all the time that we have for today. The John Muir Show, each and every weekday, 8:40 a.m. on WTAQ, 9 a.m. WSAU and WHBL. Till next time, I'm out.